Hello once again, and welcome to the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast with Jay Kirkwood of Secure Financial Management. My name is Randy Cook, and as we're moving through the final months of 2024, I'm sure you're going to have some time off around the holidays. But what about the time off we call retirement, where every day is like Saturday? And that's something that, other than your finances, we have to talk about, Jay. It's making that adjustment to the time when you don't have to go to work every single day.
Yeah, it's a process change because you're about to go through basically a 180-degree change from where your life is right now, right? Like right now, you've got 40 plus hours of your week occupied with wherever it is that you work. That's going to change, right? We're going to have a bit of time on our hands now that I'm sure you'll find something to do with it, but you're going to have a bit of time on your hands there. We're going from getting that paycheck that's coming in every other week or twice a month or however it is that you get paid. We're going from that paycheck to now the wealth that we've accumulated. We've got to rely on that. And that we're not going to be growing that anymore now like we were. We're going to be depleting that. It's a huge life event.
Yep. I think about all the time that I spend in a car behind a windshield, behind the steering wheel. And I mean, I had one day this week where it took me an hour and a half to get into work. I won't have to do that anymore, which is nice. But what do I do to fill in that hour and a half, And so that is something that we all adjust to. But we know that one of the other things that we have to figure out is we've gone from saving all this money. Now we're going to go to spending all this money. And that takes a little bit of process, a little bit of help. And if you have not put a financial advisor in your life yet, you might think to yourself, well, when's the right time to do that? Is it an age when I get to be 60? Or is it when I get $500,000 in my 401k or $1 million in my 401k? Is it an amount of money? Well, that question actually was asked many times, but the people at MarketWatch actually flipped it, Jay. They said, when's the worst time to hire a financial advisor? And their
Let's be
answer,
the pessimist. When's the worst
exactly.
time?
Their answer is later. How many times have you sat down with a client for the first time? You've gone through the process, and after they do, they go, why didn't I come in here 5 years ago? This isn't so bad.
Yeah. To give an answer to that question, when's the worst time? If you flip that around and say, when's the best time? Well, I mean, that's kind of all over the place, right? Really, the earlier the better, right? Really.
Okay.
The worst time that I've seen for people that come through our office is it's after you retire and after you've been retired for 3-5 plus years, right?
Okay.
And this is why. You've made all the mistakes by then.
There you go.
That's basically what it is, right?
You filed for Social Security. You did what you're going to do with your 401k. It's all set to go.
You've made those big purchases that was kind of on your bucket list there. Let me give you an example of why I say that. And this is the first situation that comes to mind every time there's a question like this, kind of what are the retirement mistakes? When's the worst time to come to a financial advisor? Whatever it might be. Now, this is going back before COVID. It's been a while. This lady came, she came to one of our events, and then she set an appointment to come in and meet with us. And she was kind of reluctant the whole time. And I was like, hey, Connolly, what's concerning? Like, look, I promise you, we're not going to give you the hard sell. Like, if we can help you out, great. If we can't, like, that's okay as well. No big deal. And she's like, okay. She's like, and once she revealed what was happening, I was like, okay, now I get why she's so apprehensive to talk about this. So she had retired. So we met with her probably 5 years ago, and she had retired 3, 4, 5 years before that, right? And she had done a good job with, she'd been, typical sort of person we see in the office. They've been working 30 to 40 years, often at the same company. They've built up a nice 401k. Maybe they have a pension, maybe they don't. She had done a good job initially. One of her dreams or goals or whatever it is that you want to call it in retirement was she wanted to buy a beach house down here in Port Aransas or Corpus Christi, somewhere down there, Rockwall. And she found a house that she liked, and she took $500,000 out of her 401k all at once to pay cash for that house. And so what happened with the 401k is they withheld 20% for taxes. And she's like, oh, okay, well, great. Well, this is the problem. When you take out $500,000 in one go from an account that is taxable, 20% is not going to be enough. But the thing is, you don't really, unless you kind of know how the tax code works and you know how taxes work and where you are on the grid of different tax brackets, you're not going to discover that until the next year when you have to file your taxes, right? So she gets hit with a 6-figure tax bill the next year. She's got nowhere else to take the money from but what she's got left in the 401k.
Yeah.
So it goes back and hits that again. The next year gets another follow-up tax bill because enough wasn't with her. She eventually got ahead of it, but it took like 3 years. Gosh. And by the time she came to us, I don't think she had $250,000 left in her 401k after that. And she said, I hate this house. Now that it's what does she think about when she thinks about that house now? She thinks about the distribution
that mistake
she took from that 401k, the tax nightmare it created. And this is the truth in that situation. What can I do now? When she comes to me and we're 5 years past this point or whatever it is, it's been done, right? Can we try and make sure there's no more negative consequences going forward? Yeah, we can do that, but the event has taken place. I've given you a copy of my book, Wall Street's Game, right? And one of the analogies I have with that is retirement is different to a lot of other things that you could do yourself or you could kind of see how it works out. And it's different in this regard, right? I don't change the oil on my truck, right? Could I do it? I could do it. I don't think it's that complicated, right? You take the filter off, you drain the oil, you put the new filter in, new oil, and I might have missed a step here or there, but you know what? I'll look it up on YouTube. I'll figure it out, right? Like no big deal.
Okay.
Because if I do that wrong, my worst case scenario is like, yeah, I feel like a dummy and I'll get my car towed to the dealer and they'll fix it, right? Like a bit of an inconvenience, bit of an extra expense. Okay. That is not what happens to your retirement if you make these sorts of mistakes that we talked about, right? That lady's situation I gave you, that's done, right? We cannot recover those tax. Even if she sells that house, the tax damage is still done. We've still knocked out a lot of wealth by not being tax efficient, right? So that's the very long-winded answer of when is the worst time.
No, it's a great point, though. And I think you and I did a story not too many weeks ago that many people that get into retirement, something like 50% of people that get into retirement, 5 years into retirement, they many times are making cutbacks because they find they don't have enough income to do what they want to do. And they get into a bind, and then they probably go see a financial advisor, and then they go, well, it's kind of too late. We'll do what we can do here, but coming in a couple of years before retirement, I know that there's a lot of people that look at you and say, when are you going to retire? 6 months. Okay, we'll do what we can. But coming in 2 or 3 years ahead of time, or even more, now you have the opportunity to pay down some debt and move some things around and get yourself set. It's so important when they say the worst time is later. Why not come in right now? I mean, then you have really time to work and set yourself up for a good retirement.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right with that. There's that old saying, when was the best time to plant a tree? Well, 30 years ago, right?
Right.
When's the second best time? Now.
Right now.
And it's the same with this. Should you have started earlier? Probably it would have helped. We are where we are. Let's get on it now.
Find us online at retired210.com. There you can schedule an appointment or learn more about Jay and the team at Secure Financial Management. Again, that's retired210.com. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you want to hear more, have it delivered straight to your favorite podcast platform by hitting the like, follow, or subscribe button. We'll see you next time here on the Clear Skies Retirement Podcast with Jay Kirkwood.
Investment advisory services offered through investment advisory representatives at Secure Financial Management, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed are not designed nor intended to be applicable to any person's individual circumstances. It should not be considered as investment advice, nor does it constitute a recommendation that anyone engage in or refrain from a particular course of action. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Secure Financial Management is licensed in your state, please contact their office. Secure Financial Management is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Wholesalers Insurance. Jamin J. Kirkwood, Texas Insurance License number 1421850.